Ever feel like you've missed something important, but you just can't put your finger on it? I had that feeling for years, a constant, low-grade hum of forgotten memories. It all started when I was cleaning out my parents' attic. Tucked away in a dusty chest, I found a shoebox full of old photographs. At first, I smiled. There I was, a kid with a goofy grin. At birthday parties, summer camps, school trips. But as I looked closer, a chill crept up my spine. I didn't remember any of these events, not a single one. This party, with the blue and white streamers. I'd never seen that house before. This camping trip by a lake. I've always been terrified of open water. I called my mom, my voice trembling slightly. Mom, these pictures from the attic ... What are they? There was a long pause on the other end. Oh, honey, she said, her voice strained. Those are just from when you were little. You were always such a social butterfly. But her tone was off. It felt rehearsed, like a line she'd practiced 1,000 times. I spread the photos out on my floor, arranging them by date. A pattern began to emerge. In the earliest pictures, I was alone, happy. Then, in a photo dated 1998, at a 4th of July picnic I don't remember, I saw it. In the background, almost lost in the shade of an old oak tree, was a figure. A tall, thin silhouette, blurry and indistinct. It was just standing there, watching. I shuffled to the next photo. A school play from 1999. I was dressed as a tree, apparently. And there it was again, in the back of the auditorium, a shadowy shape sitting in an otherwise empty row. With each subsequent photo, the figure was a little clearer, a little closer. In a picture from a Halloween party in 2001, it was standing just behind my group of friends, its features still obscured, but its form unmistakable. It was tall, unnaturally so, with long limbs that seemed to bend at odd angles. My heart was hammering against my ribs. I felt a cold sweat break out on my forehead. This wasn't just a coincidence. This was something else. I kept sorting. A trip to the beach in 2003. There it was, half hidden behind a sand dune. A high school graduation party in 2007. It stood across the street, partially blocked by a parked car, but its gaze felt like it was burning right through the glossy paper. It was always there, a silent, dark passenger in my life, a life I couldn't even remember living. Who was this person? Or, what was it? And why was it in every single one of these photos? A ghost at celebrations I never attended. I felt like I was losing my mind. These photos were proof of a childhood I didn't have, haunted by a presence I couldn't explain. I spent the next few days in a frantic haze, digging through old yearbooks, family albums, anything I could find. Nothing. No mention of these parties, these trips. It was like an entire segment of my life had been fabricated, with these photographs as the only evidence. The more I looked at the photos, the more details I noticed. In a photo from what looked like a Christmas gathering, I saw that none of the other kids were looking at me. They were all looking just past me, their eyes wide with the fear that I, in the photo, seemed oblivious to. Then I found the last photo. It was at the very bottom of the box, tucked inside a faded envelope. On the front, in my mother's shaky handwriting, were the words, "Don't look." Of course, I had to. My hands trembled as I pulled it out. It was a picture of a birthday party. My 10th birthday, according to the banner on the wall, a birthday I have absolutely no memory of. The room was filled with kids, but none of them were smiling. They were all huddled in a corner, staring at me. I was sitting alone at a long table, a single cupcake with a lit candle in front of me. And sitting in the chair right next to me was the figure. It wasn't a shadow anymore. It was solid. It was tall and gaunt, wearing a tattered black suit. Its face was a pale, blank oval, with no eyes, no nose, no mouth, just smooth, white skin. One of its long, spindly hands was resting on my shoulder, and I was smiling, a wide, ecstatic, terrifying smile, as if I was in the presence of my dearest friend. I dropped the photo as if it had burned me. A wave of nausea washed over me. What happened on my 10th birthday? Why was this thing there? And why was I so happy to see it? A memory, fractured and sharp, pierced through the fog in my mind. The taste of frosting, the smell of burnt sugar, a voice whispering in my ear, a voice that sounded like rustling leaves and cracking ice. It was whispering my name. Suddenly, I understood. These weren't forgotten events. They were replaced events. My real memories had been scooped out and swapped with these photographic lies. But why? What was the purpose of this elaborate deception? I looked at the photo again, the one of my 10th birthday. The entity, the thing in the suit, it wasn't just sitting next to me. It was leaning in, its blank face close to my ear, as if sharing a secret, a birthday secret. I felt a phantom whisper echo in my ear again, the same chilling, rustling sound. Happy birthday. It seemed to say we'll celebrate again soon. I haven't slept in days. Every time I close my eyes, I see that blank, white face. I feel its long, cold fingers on my shoulder. I've thrown the photos away, burned them to ash, but it doesn't matter. You can't burn away a memory that isn't yours. You can't forget something that was stolen from you. The worst part is, my birthday is next week, and I have this dreadful, sinking feeling that I won't be celebrating it alone. I keep checking the shadows in the corner of my eye. I keep hearing whispers on the wind. It's coming back for me. The guest of honor is returning for another party. A party I won't remember, but one I'm sure I'll never be able to escape. The forgotten birthday is coming again. Thank you for listening to this episode of Hollow Street. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe and always check your old photos. You never know who might be watching.